Aje, welcome back to the Sisi Wanaume podcast, the number one podcast on all things men. Aje, welcome back to the Sisi Wanaume podcast with me, Salif Nyambok. This is a safe space for the Kenyan man on a journey of self-discovery. This is the last part of our Shida's a Nice Guy series. Part 3, Nice Guys in Careers. Why are all the guys who are somehow successful or doing well career-wise, why do they all seem like the seemingly bad guy? We look at corporate bosses like they're the ultimate devils, you know. We ask ourselves, how can somebody be so mean, you know, and still be so successful? Why is it that some guys have been winning all through in life, whether they had the cash or they didn't? Like, they were there with you and they were still winning. And now they're doing even better than you and they're still winning. So there are deeper issues that nice guys face, especially when they grow up. And now that they're expected to be men in society. And I use the word men as in the typical African patriarchal fashion, in the sense that you're expected to provide, you're expected to lead, you're expected to build, you're expected to have capacity. We're still very much a patriarchal society. It is enforced even by the thinking that a man needs to have money for him to get girls, and girls go to the guy who has the money. Something like that. It's very different. And you find that nice guys in careers, according to this text, they have a lot of fear. And this fear is actually a fear of trying to do things right, a fear of trying to do everything themselves. They self-sabotage themselves. They have a distorted self-image. They have a mentality ya kujinyima. Like, hata kama niko na ability ya kununua hiyo kitu, natajinyima. And then you're stuck in the same familiar and messed up place. So it is this fear actually that prevents a nice guy from demanding the raise that he was promised, from going back to school and improving their chances of getting a better job, from quitting a job that you hate, or starting the business of your dreams, or actually living where you want to live and doing what you really want to do. You're just afraid. And nice guys are typically afraid that if they're truly successful, guys will find out that they are a fraud. You know, I think nice guys deal with the most, like, very serious cases of imposter syndrome. And they think that they won't live up to people's expectations. They say, how the hell can somebody rely on me to be a leader? I can't, like, surely can I even lead anything? Or they will be criticized. They hate the idea of themselves falling out of public good with people. And when you're successful, that tends to happen. People will always have a spotlight on every little single thing that you do, and nice guys fear that. And they won't be able to handle the increased expectations. They will lose control over their lives, and they'll always mess it up in one way or another. So you find that nice guys juggle through all those thoughts as young men in society. And this prevents them from actually acting on the things that they know that they can do. It seems easier for you to just remain in your pattern and your loop of tupige happy, ama tulal, tutulie, to complain, nini. But you don't take the steps to actually do something about it. You feel me? And trying to do it right at some point also, for nice guys, always, it can rob guys of their productivity. There's some nice guys who are very comfortable with their lives. Like, they don't try to do anything to upset the status quo. Alibahatika akapata job inamlipa some 20,000 mahali. Akakwama na hiyo kitu. Unakwama nayo, knowing that even for what you're doing, there's somebody who's doing it in a different organization na ana 120 na uko hapo tu pali uko uko sawa, unasema tu mimi naamini sijui nini story nyingi, but you never really go out of your way to try and ensure that you can build the tools that you need to get out of that line of thinking. So you strive for perfection and it will keep you focusing on your imperfections. You'll always keep on thinking that, I'm never good enough. I'll never be good enough. For me, I really experienced this when I was trying to do music at a certain point in my life. I always used to think that for you to come out with a product, you have to be perfect. And perfect, I mean like ikuwe imerekodiwa vizuri, ngoma imemastariwa to the perfect quality. Kama ni video umeshoot it shot to precision, money has been spent there, it's good quality, etc. At the same time nikaanza kuona vijana young tu wa mtaa wakitokea. Hawa sio walikuwa nakata hizo tapes kwa bedroom zao na ngoma zinashika. Unaona, wanakata tape kwa bedroom, video imepigwa tu hapo nje, sometimes hata inashutiwa na phone na ngoma inashika, ngoma inakaa ina trend, ina establish, they go out, they do gigs and voila, career made. They were not afraid to start. I was. So ukiangalia vitu kama hizo, you realize that you get stuck. You attempt to hide flaws and mistakes, and that's what makes you very afraid to take risks, because you'll always just be cautious, fearful, rigid. And because of all these limits, you find that you'll really never be able to get to where it is that you want to go. And ultimately, of course, 20K for long term, si pesa mob sana. Na utakuja kujiresent at a certain point ukianza kuona ma-colleagues wako ama ma-counterpart wako ama agemates wako wakiendesha maprado manini, wakipeleka mamanzi wao majuu, na wewe uko hapo unajiuliza kwa nini nilikuwa nafanya nini? See, I followed the right paths, I was steady, I was stable. No, it's just because you never took the active role of trying to get the life that you wanted. Nice guys, like we've said repeatedly, never got their needs met as children in timely and in judicious ways. Guys were neglected, guys were used, guys were abused, guys were abandoned. We all grow up with different temperaments, and people all grew up believing that it was a dangerous thing for them to have needs. And so because of all these things, nice guys actually turn out to be very, very terrible receivers, in the sense that they have difficulty delegating anything. They tend to think that it is easier for them to operate by themselves and just do everything by themselves. And I'm actually guilty as charged on that. Sometimes it just feels a bit easier, but the reality is it's not. It's actually harder for you to do something as simple as even this production. It takes time and it takes effort, and to some extent, delegating it would have made this work way, way easier and way more fun maybe. So nobody can be good at everything or try to succeed by themselves. And at some point, you can't also just have 100 projects open on your tab. Now each project has moved 1% and then you say that you're making progress. It's even better for you to just do one project, complete it to 100%, go to another one, like that, rather than trying to open, all these 100 things, so many different ideas, but you never really follow them through to the end. Now, realize no one can be good at everything and succeed all by themselves. So you find that nice guys carry this sense of inadequacy throughout their lives and into adulthood, and they compensate by trying to do everything right. And sometimes they may beat themselves really hard if they fail to live up to that ideal, and yet it's not a realistic ideal. They fear that if they don't do everything to look like they are competent, they'll be seen as inadequate. Other nice guys take the opposite approach and they give up before they even try. So this paradigm of scarcity tends to make nice guys, again, very manipulative and controlling. these guys hang on to what they have. They had better hang on to what they have. And they resent people who have the things that they don't. You'll find guys now talking bad about, like, maybe let's say millionaires, rappers, or whoever. Guys who seem to be making way more than them, taking way more risk, getting way more return, rolling with the finest shorties, getting the most money you get. And you are still stuck in the loop because you're not willing to take those risks. So a nice guy in careers has to make a conscious choice to actually face their fear, to reduce or never settle for mediocrity, and to make a decision to make their own rules. They can do this by focusing, learning how to do things now. Like, don't usingoje mtu yote, fanya hiyo time. Accept good enough rather than perfect. Meaning, anza kenye unataka kuanza. Don't wait for things to align. Don't wait for the stars to give you a sign. No. Anza. And then usianze new projects unless the old ones are done. Don't make excuses. And then leave shida za watu. It costs you nothing. And I think we might talk about it in a different episode. The black tax that a lot of us feel like we are obligated to pay. You're not obligated to pay that tax. Unless for some reason you feel like you want to do it out of your own vocation. It should never be imposed on you that you must take care of the needs of other people around you before you even manage to get a footing yourself. So nice guys can recover by identifying how they seek approval. They can take good care of themselves, give themselves some positive affirmations, spend time alone like we talked about in our other episode, and reveal themselves to safe people. Or start a podcast. Yeah, so some affirmations that you can go through, and maybe this is a good way for us to end this episode, is you can just listen to this with me and affirm these words as I say them. I am lovable just as I am. I am perfectly imperfect. My needs are important. I am a strong and powerful person. I can handle it. It's okay to be human and to make mistakes. I am the only person I have to please. Think on these and stay tuned for more in our next episode. This has been Sisi Wanaume podcast with me, Salif Nyambok. Practice this and be gentle with yourself for all of you who identify as nice guys. And I do hope that this resource has helped you at least get a bit of awareness about who you are. I will share more resources. Resources are down in the description below on where you can get this book. If you want to read the book, it's called No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover. But there's a ton of other videos as well that you can check out and begin this journey towards healing yourself and making yourself a good man for society. So till next time, peace out. What's good, people? It's Salif Nyambok right here. This is the Sisi Wanaume podcast.